What's going on, guys? We're going to look at today's price action on the Nasdaq 100. So again, what I woke up to this morning was Nasdaq being up almost 200, 250, something like that. We had a lot of Fed speakers today. We had Janet Yellen. We had, a whole plethora of things. We had numbers. So there was a lot of things. By the way, guys, if you're trading the markets right now, 10:22 a.m., we're getting a little bit of a double bottoming down here at the linear regression. Could be a cheap opportunity for a long bounce. Again, by the time this video is uploaded, either we're going to broken the low of day for another 100 points down, or we're going to be pushed up 100 points. But it was pretty seamless. I know a lot of the traders in my room were actually done trading within the first 30 minutes to an hour. Now, again, could you have caught some more moves? Could you have made some more money? Absolutely. One thing that I've absolutely been hard pressed on is, guys, when you see your setup and you guys are trading within the first 30 minutes to 2 hours of the market, if you find and you take one or two setups and you manage to make money, you're doing better than 90% of the other traders that are out there, retail traders that are out there trying to do this for a living, for a secondary source of income. So you have to really take what's going on and you have to be realistic. Now, again, I know many of you guys want to take out the big $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 payouts a month. But if you can't take out $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, we're a long ways away from that. So it's baby steps. We got to crawl before we can walk, and we've got to learn how to walk before we can run, and we've got to learn how to run before we can sprint. Okay, so when you take all of that into account, the number one thing for you that I would definitely recommend, and we're going to go over some of the setups, but the number one thing that I want you guys to take away from is, if you can start identifying things that happen in the market each and every single day, right? Like reoccurring events, whether it's opening range breaks, whether it's patterns, whether it's moving averages, whatever it is, supply and demand. When you can identify the same set of events that are happening each and every single day in the market, regardless of news and regardless of numbers and all this stuff, because that stuff's never going to go away, right? Is it going to be a catalyst? Of course, right? You're always going to have market movers. You're going to have things that are going to sway the market. But what I want you guys to understand is that you need to have specific set of rules and events that need to trigger in order for you to get into the trade. And then you're going to have to lay that risk on the table, be comfortable with it, marry the risk, right? We don't adjust the risk. We don't, double our size because we feel like the market is hot and there's a lot of momentum. We marry the risk, we marry the take profit, we take the trades, we take a number of trades, and we come back and we do it every single day. I've been trying to tell people for years now, this business is it's painfully boring. There's a whole lot of sitting around. There's a whole lot of emotions that come involved with it. So why would we want to stress ourselves out any more than we need to? We need to set realistic expectations where we, do the same two things. Now, I recommend for all traders, when you're trying to find consistency, take no more than two or three trade setups a day max. Okay. And then whatever the outcome is, hopefully you were managing your risk properly and you end the day there. You don't get stupid and start over trading, and you don't get, dumb and try to, manually forget everything that you've learned and everything that you've read and continue to trade into the close when you don't realistically need to. I've seen so many people turn a, $1,000 green day into, a blow up day. I've seen so many people take a $500 red day into $1,500. So again, once you come to the realization that each and every single day is pretty much the same, stock's going to go up, stock's going to go down, market's going to go sideways, market's going to chop, market's going to go up, market's going to go down. It's the same things that happen each and every single day. Now, coming from the pre-market, let me kind of scoot this over. Coming from the pre-market and the overnight session, we were just essentially pushing higher. It did not look like there was any sort of selling pressure at all, until literally the market started to open, right? And when the market started to open, we started to pull back about 10 minutes into the market open. New York session opened, we pulled back. There was a 20 SMA play. You can see here, the first play of the day was at 6:30 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. Now, again, I want to make something very clear. This whole week, I have not traded any funded accounts with inside the first 30 minutes, okay? I've only traded evaluations inside the first 30 minutes. I'm trying to avoid a lot of the volatility in the big moves, okay? And if I'm wrong on the first move of the day, Well, thankfully, it's on an evaluation account and not on a funded account. So it's been working out for me pretty well. So I'm going to continue to just stick with that MO. Now, because the selling was so drastic and because we started to immediately pull down and we set up this 20 SMA play, on an evaluation, I'm not going to lie, I got in on this momentum. You know, I did not even wait for the 20 SMA play to set up. I seen that there was, extensive selling. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that the market was starting to speed up. I jumped in with 2 mini contracts. I took some points off of it. I locked it up. That's it. I went on to the next evaluation. Now, the next evaluation account that I did trade today, I did wait for the 30-minute opening range. So if we kind of look at where that 30-minute opening range was, we take that low, right? This is the low here. Now, I was telling everyone inside Evolution Traders that if we were going to take this move, we needed to do something. And we needed to get in, get green, and get the hell out. Why? Because the 200-day moving average was literally sitting right below us, about 10, 11, 12 points. It was something like that. So a take profit of 5 was great. A take profit of 10 was good. But what I don't like doing is I don't like waiting for just because it's something confirmed that it's going to move all day. Now, again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a genius. You could have sat in this move and it would have went down 100 points plus, but we don't know that, right? And if you notice what we did here at this 200-day moving average, it got extremely choppy. So if you entered in with any type of real size, I mean, at one point in time, you were down, let's see, 15, 20 points, right? On just a bounce that, was just nothing more than a dead cat bounce because it ended up flushing into the next demand zone. And the next demand zone on my chart was sitting down here at 20,300, and it's a linear regression. But again, if you get in on the move, this provided a lot of traders in my room a quick 5-6 points, very seamless. Have that take profit order in there, whether you're trading 1 or 2 mini contracts, that's $100 or $200 winner extremely quickly within less than 30 seconds, less than 45 seconds. You could have taken some cash. And then, hey, if you are copy trading across, 2 or 3, 4 accounts, you just made $200, $300, $400, $500, right? So again, if you're trading micros, then maybe you're looking for something a little bit bigger, okay? Maybe you're looking for something closer to 15, 20 points. You definitely would have had to have had at least a 20 to 25 point kind of stop loss set in place. Now, again, I just definitely recommend, setting like a 15 or 20 point stop loss. Keep it very simple on yourself. Keep the math very simple on yourself. 15, 20 point stop loss, run that 10 point, 15 point take profit somewhere close to a 1-to-1, a little bit of a negative inversion there on the risk to reward. If you're looking for that, again, if you're going to be a trader who's going to take profit 1 at, let's say, 5 or 10 points and then move your stop loss to break even and trail your remaining contracts, you could definitely do that. But again, it's a little hard for some people to do. Some people like to come into the market, take some quick cash, and then kind of just move along and wait for the whole entire new setup. Now, that whole entire new setup, again, we kind of spoke about it this morning, was down here at this 200-day moving average, okay? And I'm not even going to get into the rest of the trades. This is it. Like, essentially, this is all we did. We got short off the open on the momentum. We waited for the 30-minute opening range break. And then once we confirmed, and I actually passed a Apex evaluation in one trade, okay? Max size, of course, is it the smartest thing to do on a funded account or real cash? Absolutely not. And I would definitely never recommend anyone to do that. But on an evaluation that costs $33, essentially it's a $33 trade for max size. We're looking to get those 62 ticks, which is about 15.5 points, so we can cover, fees and stuff like that and get that passed. But you can see here, once we closed below this 200-day moving average, we had a lot of room down. That was my only thought process. It was very simple. If we continue to sell off here, what I want to do is get in below this 200-day moving average. You can see here, this is about an hour after the bell. And all I was looking for here was a confirmation below the 200-day moving average. So a confirmation to me is a candle that closes below the 200-day moving average. And then you get a following candle to confirm that new low, okay? So the low price was 20,374. The next candle opens up and goes all the way down to 20,338. So on this particular move, on this one candle, it was in, it was seamless. evaluation was passed, we stack it away, and there we go. Now again, there was another trade here, there was another trade down here at the bottom, but again, we're not going to talk about that because the majority of my room and my personal trading was done within the first 30 minutes to an hour. So whatever happens after that, it happens, right? Like I'm not sitting here trying to catch every single move. I'm not sitting here trying to trade into the close. I'm not sitting here trying to, you know, squeeze water out of a rock. You know, could I have potentially made more money? Sure. Could I have potentially blown up some accounts and gave money back? Absolutely. So if I did my job, I came into the market, I was yes right on a momentum play off the open. Then once I did trade the funded accounts, I took my 5 points off of that 30-minute opening range on a few accounts. You know, made a couple $100 there. I traded two mini contracts on that. Traded about 3 funded accounts. So all in all, it's about a $600 day. And then we went back and we traded some more evaluations and we caught one more trade, right? So when I start to win 2 or 3 trades, I start tipping my hat to the market and I say thank you, but I'm not going to press my luck anymore because I always know that knocking, right? Knocking at the door is that losing trade. And I never know how I'm going to react when I do take a losing trade. It could trigger a plethora of emotions where I go on tilt. It could trigger, you know, a green day into a red day, right? And then cause over trading. So I'm looking for 2 or 3 setups. My trade window is between New York Open at 9:30 into around 11:30 noontime, and that's it, right? Like I'm living and dying by whatever happens in that range because to me, that's where I'm comfortable. To me, according to my stats and my data for my trading, that's where I do the best. That's where I don't lose a lot of mental equity. That's where I'm still fresh. That's where I'm still, you know, can manage getting out of a losing trade or 2. I could still kind of battle back maybe on trade 3 or 4. But again, sometimes you take a loss. Now it was, what's today? Thursday. I think it was Tuesday. On one of my funded accounts, the first trade of the day, max loss of 500. We came back yesterday and we made it right back. So that account is back to break even. It's up a couple $100 on the week. But again, you know, we come back today and we make money again. So now we continue to push that equity curve to the high side. Now, one thing that I will say is having a daily max loss, a personal daily max loss, where maybe your platform will auto lock you out of taking any more trades will definitely help if you're one of those traders who has problems stopping yourselves out. I know TraderVate has it. I know TopStepX has it. Again, you know, it's a great feature. I kind of have mine set at $500. So if I go down more than $500 on any one particular day or trade, it's going to lock me out and it's going to force me to sit on my hands and put myself on timeout and come back tomorrow. Again, this business is not easy. You're not going to make money every trade. You're not going to make money every day. I know people don't like to hear that. I know you want to hear that I'm going to tell you that you make $40,000 this month if you had 20 accounts and you copy traded all of them. It's not that easy. Okay, it's not that easy. It takes a lot of money. You got to spend a lot of money on evaluations. You got to spend a lot of money on activation fees, and you got to trade well and disciplined for at least 10 days, right? So the odds of that happening, you know, very slim. There are traders who do that, but you know, it takes time. It definitely takes time, right? And it definitely takes like a method to your madness. You need to have been around the block a little bit. What I recommend to all traders, especially if you're on prop firms, you know, get a few accounts, get a handful of accounts, 5, 6, 7 accounts. You know, trade them kind of separately or in blocks or groups of 2, and then, you know, try to get 1 or 2 to pay out in 30 days, and then get some money coming back in your pocket. That way, the stress lifts off your shoulders a little bit, and you can kind of reinvest back into more evaluations and continue to trade. And then kind of see if month 2 you can get that next 1 or 2 to pay out. And then slowly but surely, because you're actively taking evaluations and you're actively growing on a day in and day out basis, you're just going to start having accounts land in the payout window that are going to be ready to get paid out. You're going to start having evaluations start to pass, and you didn't even expect them to pass today, right? So for a lot of you guys who are like, I only need $700, I only need $1,000 more to pass, you're worried way too much about the dollar amount. Just trade every day, and at the end of the day, guess what? You're going to get that email that says, hey, guess what? Congratulations, you are now a funded trader with TopStep. You're now a funded trader with Apex. But for those of you guys who are pocket watching and penny pinching and watching every single dollar amount on the screen, you're only doing a disservice to yourself. Take the trades, 2 to 3 a day, live with the results, come back tomorrow, do it again. have a handful of accounts that you can filter through and trade, so you're not just limited to taking one trade and losing and potentially being done on the day. I would recommend at least 5. That way you get at least 5 trades a day if you spread everything out, right? If you're going to group them, maybe you get at least 3 trades a day. You know, if you have 10 accounts, then you're closer to taking close to 8 to 12 trades a day, at least. I mean, if your setup is giving you more than 8 to 12 setups a day, then you're like a hyper scalper that's playing like a 1 minute or 30-second chart. And that's not what I do. I play the 5-minute chart. On rare occasions, I do use a 2-minute chart for some specific setups on a 20 SMA play. But again, it's not like I'm just hawking down the 2-minute chart. I'm mainly watching the 1 hour and the 5-minute chart. This video is a little long-winded. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like, click, and subscribe. Again, leave me a comment. Let me know how you guys did today. If you guys need evaluations, those links are down in the description box below. Use code SAVE80. Just make sure you use my link. If you guys are looking to trade with myself and the team at Evolution Traders, make sure you guys use the link down in the description box below. I'll see all of you guys on the inside.